When I was a kid, I enjoyed watching that 70s show with my family. Not only was the show funny, but it also had memorable characters, and it was interesting to see them grow from first to last season. With the recent release of that 90s show, it made me remember another spin-off titled The 80s Show, which released in 2002 to cash in off the success of that 70s show. However, the show was received with negative reviews, and was cancelled after its first season. It made me curious, what made the show so poorly received? Well, I decided to watch the first episode to see if the show was as bad as people say it was or not. With that being said, let's take a look back at that 80s show. The episode starts at a party, and the first thing that I noticed that this show has no relation to that 70s show whatsoever. By that I mean 0 characters from that 70s show are in this show, so besides the title, the two shows have nothing in common. Anyway, we meet our main character, who is played by Glenn Howard. He plays a young Dennis Reynolds, Corey, and his character is that he is a musician trying to make it big. Anyway, he is upset that his ex, Sophia, has moved on from him. Then we get a cocaine joke because it's in the 80s. After the party, we transition to his house, where we meet his father and sister, Katie. Katie tries to set him up with another girl, but Corey isn't interested. Then we meet his friend Roger, who is pretty much a combination between Fez and Hyde, and he's here to pick up Corey on their way to work. Also, I don't get how Corey is driving when he doesn't even have his hands on the wheel. Okay, so I've only covered the first 5 minutes of this episode, and I've already seen a few problems. For one, the laugh track is extremely annoying. I know that 70s show also had a laugh track, but it will only play after a joke is told. Here it is played like every 10 seconds, even when there isn't a joke.
That's right, I'm making candles.
You kids are so judgmental.
Your vinyl Richie section.
Also, as a sitcom, the show isn't really that funny. The only 2 jokes told were about Corey's ex being bisexual, which in 2023 has really aged poorly, and him and Roger dicking around in the car. Anyway, we have this very creative theme song.
80s, I'm living in the 80s. 80s, I have to push, I have to struggle. Oh!
We then meet Corey's boss, Margaret. The only thing you need to know about Margaret is that she's grouchy and used to be a groupie.
Jim Morrison is a god.
A god who thought my breasts looked like mushrooms.
Okay. Anyway, Corey talks about his struggles in life, which includes his music career and how his dad wants him to get a better job. Then we meet a girl with a punk rock haircut because this show really wants you to know that it takes place in the 80s. This is Tuesday, and no, I'm not kidding. This is her actual name in the show. And no, she's not related to Wednesday. Apparently, Tuesday and Corey are new co-workers, and they don't get along. Let me guess, they're gonna end up being a couple, aren't they? We then transition back to Katie, and we get another 80s reference, as she sings Love is a Battlefield badly for 30 seconds. This could have been funny if someone was listening to it and she was embarrassed, but since there's no one there, it comes off as annoying. Thank God the doorbell rings, as it's Sophia, here to return Corey's CDs. They both talk for a few minutes about college and the relationship. Sophia said that she has found a new person she likes, and then kisses Katie. Katie feels awkward and leaves the room. We then go back to Corey and Tuesday, and they still don't get along with each other. Also, I must say that I hate Tuesday as a character. The only trait about her is that she has wild hair, and she just complains all the time. Margaret can't stand them arguing and says that they either can get along or they're fired. Then Corey and Tuesday argue over who should be fired, and Tuesday says she shouldn't because she doesn't wear a bra. Which I don't get what that has to do with selling records, but okay. Anyway, Corey's dad walks in the store and says that Corey should work in marketing with him, but Corey's not really into that idea. Then Tuesday interrupts, and then Corey absolutely gives her a Kelso-like burn.
You're not punk. You're retro. See, punk was out 6 years ago, and I would know. I was at a Sex Pistols concert while you were listening to the Bay City Rollers in your Barbie jammies.
After that mic drop, Coy and his father leave. It's revealed that Tuesday is a fad chaser. Not gonna lie, that is pretty funny. Then see Coy, Roger, and Katie play a drinking game. During the game, Katie says that Sophia kissed her, and that makes Coy feel worse about himself. He then talks about the job his dad offered, and while he doesn't think he'll do good, he'll try it because he's tired of being broke. We then transition to the next day where Coy tries the job, but gets bored of it pretty easily. Yeah, this is pretty much filler for 2 minutes and nothing exciting happens whatsoever. Later go to a party, where we get another 80's reference about brick phones.
Where I am! In a bar! On a portable phone! No, it's not a payphone! It's a portable phone! In the eye!
You know, I think a few providers were hit with a brick phone while writing the script. Anyway, Coy is with Roger and Katie again, and Coy talks about how he didn't like the marketing job. Then Sophia comes and pretty much apologizes to Katie, but was still very awkward and obvious that she likes her. Now it's the next day, and Coy leaves his marketing job and returns to Margaret, who basically tells him to take out the trash. Outside he meets a new girl, but not really, it's Tuesday, and she has a new look. So I guess she did take Coy's roast personally. Anyway, they pretty much both make up and get coffee, while Margaret looks at them in jealousy. And that's how the first episode ends. I'll be honest, the show wasn't as bad as I originally thought it was gonna be. However, it is still a very mediocre sitcom at best, and a very bad reboot at worst. Not only did the show have nothing to do with that 70's show, but it overkilled it with the 80's references. Yes, I know that 70's show was based in the 70's, and also had references, but they weren't as frequent as it was here, and that 70's show also had better and more detailed characters and stories as well. The only good character from the 80's show is Coy, and I'm glad Glenn found success later in Always Sunny. I think the biggest reason why the 80's show failed is due to it being directly linked to that 70's show, and it could have been alright on its own. If you came to the end of this video, I just wanted to thank you. This took me quite a while to make, and I would love to make more videos like this in the future. Anyway, if you liked this video, please consider subscribing, and send in recommendations for future reviews. With that being said, Cooper out.